So it's a time of glory, but it's also a time of pain, and Muslims are always disconsolate and confused when they consider the events leading up to what we call the First Civil War, although it wasn't really a civil war, but rather a kind of civil disobedience that got out of hand. It wasn't huge armies clashing and thousands of people being killed. It was a few hot-headed rebels and a caliph who couldn't bring himself to punish them or to fight back. That, I think, is one helpful way of looking at it. Imagine the scenario. You have this huge empire with these vast distances. The choice of governors in the provinces is going to be really important because they have to take decisions on their own. Part of Othman's greatness is that he believes radically in Muslim equality. He thinks that whoever is the best man for the job and will get the work done is the person who should be appointed. It doesn't matter who he's related to. Very often the people who are from the old Meccan elite are good at administering. It's in their blood. They've been doing it for a long time. He's not going to discriminate against them. And we've already seen how he appoints Muawiyaa bin Abi Sufyan, radiallahu an, to be the governor of Syria, and Muawiyaa is this guy who conquers Armenia and conquers Cyprus and conquers Rhodes and wins the Battle of the Masts, and he turns out to be a brilliant provincial governor. So, in some cases, he dismisses people who are from the old Meccan elite, and this generates resentment as well. So, Amr ibn al-As, the conqueror of Egypt, he withdraws him as governor of Egypt. Amr becomes a critic of Othman, but what's not going on here is a kind of clear power play between possible contenders to the Khalifa. It's not really clear to anybody who the obvious alternative to Othman would be. There are people grumbling, as there always are. Politics is politics, human nature is human nature. There are people who are discontented, people who think things could be done differently, people who think the conquest could be even faster, the prosperity could be greater, different sorts of people, their own relatives might be appointed. This is human nature. None of these people are infallible after the death of the Prophet ﷺ. And we find people's loyalties are often quite flexible. So although Amr in Egypt is kind of critical of Othman, Amr is not necessarily siding with Ali instead, because at the arbitration of Siffin, when Ali and Muawiyaa, 10 years later, are contending, Amr is actually representing Muawiyaa and not representing Ali. So it's not a kind of Othman versus Ali trade-off. It's much more fluid and complex than that. And of course, Ali and Othman are personally very close to each other.